Alright, so we just got some notices come through about dividends getting paid out and when, and it reminds me of a common question, assumption people get is, yeah, you should, my mate said you should invest in dividend stocks. I'll show you why yet again. What fucking more my mate says is incorrect while I have some lunch. It's going to be a long one. It's going to really talk about why income isn't always the best driver of your portfolio, and this will relate to also why chasing passive income, why if you don't need income, trying to chase income isn't always the way to go. And the summary of it behind it all, and I'll show you the numbers and talk about why structures are more important than whether it's dividends, etc. The summary of it all is there's no point chasing investments that generate income that you are then going to pay tax on to either reinvest somewhere or sit in a bank account. You may as well tie that up in tax effective growth so you've got more later on. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break down what this spreadsheet and the tables and that kind of thing mean. That way you know what you're looking at while I post. Alright, so while I have my post-lunch laydown, the reason we use those numbers are the most common income goals people have. What we are doing is we're understanding that each holding has a dividend per unit of a certain amount. So to achieve your income goal, you need to hold enough of that holding to generate your income goal via the dividends, right? So simple mathematics there. So let's go into it in a bit more detail via each category. Note that for our mathematics, we're going to use the average, but just understand that this is why diversified portfolios are important, because you'll see the different variation of how much of each holding. This is why when people say you should just buy this ETF, you should buy that. That's why it's different, because depending on your goal can differ on what is actually a better holding. It's not just net returns, not just net dividends. This is why it's important on how to build a portfolio. All right, so the next spreadsheet that we're going to go through in detail is going to break down the goal, right, using the averages based on whether it's an individual, right, so in one person, or a couple, right, to understand utilizing tax rates better, including SAPDO and all the retirement stuff or whatever. Then understanding structures, so whether we do that via one person super or via two people super. So there's heaps more things we can do around companies, trusts, etc., bonds, everything. I'm just keeping this very high level, even though it seems like I'm going full Rain Man. This is simple shit that a lot of you don't know about, and you think, I can manage my money, what's an advisor going to add value for? Here's some shit. This is like 101 shit that you are all probably sitting there going, oh my god, right? This is what the value advisor can add, right? I'm going to show you in a minute tens of thousands of dollars a year in freed up cash flow to achieve the same goal, plus millions of dollars at the goal. So let's have a look. Let me break this spreadsheet down. I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see there, guys, just in whether it's one person or two people utilizing the tax tier system, or whether it's in one super or two, the actual amount that you receive to use for your goals, right? You can tell me that you generate 100 grand a year, but if half of it's fucking taxed, then you generate 50. It doesn't matter, right? It's what you can use. When you want passive income or you're retiring, the money in your hands is all that matters. That's why we say property isn't a great asset, because it doesn't yield a lot, and the money, the wealth is all tied up in the property, and you can't just take a brick and use that for fucking food or a holiday, right? You need money in retirement, and passive income needs to be accessible and liquid. So tax is a really big consideration that you need to take into consideration. And we can see the exact same goal structured different ways can mean a lot of money a year difference to what you can actually use to enjoy your life. So now I'm going to take you through with the difference of the amount of money between doing things right or wrong. I'm going to show you what that could mean. So if you use that difference in money by being smarter, it's not just the difference per annum that means, it's what is that, if you then reinvested that difference long term at the same rate of what the original was invested, right? So having that freed up cash to put back into it, if you didn't want to enjoy it or whatever, what does that mean for the overall portfolio? So let's talk about that. Right, so we can see that strategy matters, right? But it's important that you understand. So the idea of this video started out with dividends, right? But that was just an example. The idea of this is that what one person says, you must invest in dividend stocks. You should look at ETFs. You should look at index funds. You should be in property. You should be in crypto. It's all fucking irrelevant. It's all irrelevant, right? Matching your investment to what the purpose of that investment, the goal is, not just the money amount, how to do it properly, will out-return any of your crazy ideas or your friends' crazy ideas day by day. Because we just use the exact same strategy, right? Exact same numbers, change the strategy via structures and allocations very simply, and we generated a much better outcome, either quicker or with more money and lower risk. So got to understand that strategy matters. It is the most important thing in your entire investment factor. Stop listening to morons who think one way is the only way.